They are.
300,000 refugees in recent years, and you're sat there saying that we are not humanitarian. What planet are you living on?
You need to watch this. Matt Goodwin smoothly and assuredly took apart political analyst Fahima Mohammed during a live broadcast. There was no yelling, no theatrics, only a sequence of composed, deliberate replies. Fahima entered forcefully, disputing the anti-immigration position, yet Matt held firm and refused to retreat.
Well, I think, the problem here is Labour used to be the party of the people. Now it seems to be the party of the professionals, and it's copying reform. Instead of leading, it's chasing, and it's mimicking things that people did not vote for them in the first place. And I think that is the real problem. And also, it's not just about the fact that they're not actually clamping down on immigration. There are so many other issues that needs to be raised, which the Labour Party stands for, like welfare, education, the NHS. We've got so much shortage of skilled people to fill in even the NHS with over 100,000 vacancies. And, expenses are still high. They're targeting very vulnerable people at the moment. And it's not the way to go, across by just basically coming off the back of the by-elections of what they think that the people want, which is just reform.
Fahima, two things happened this week. Firstly, we learn immigration is the number one issue in this country.
Only because that's the only thing being told and spoken about.
Okay. So this is what's interesting, Michelle. This is the left narrative.
No, it's not. I'm not the left. Why'd you call me the left?
Can I finish? We're all talking about immigration, and that's the reason.
We're not all talking about immigration.
Can I finish? We're all talking about immigration. That's why immigration is the number one issue, as opposed to it's nothing to do with the record numbers of people who are actually coming into our country. And the second thing we've learned this week is 85% of Brits want net migration reduced below 100,000, and nearly half the country want zero migration. And you're acting as though Keir Starmer is kind of speaking up for this mad extreme fringe. Most people in this country want less immigration. It's not that hard.
Well, I'm sorry. Now I really do feel that you are basically trying to talk for everyone when it's not the case. Everywhere else, they do not just only mention immigration. It is much more. It's the only rhetoric that I hear from people like yourself. And I'm not calling you far right or right or anything, so don't call me that, because there's certain things that I even agree with when it comes to the other side. It's not about that. We have to do so much more to get this country back in order than just immigration, and that's not going to erase any of the economics and the problems that are there. So it is really not that. It's just what you want to raise and everyone else.
As I say, it's the number one issue in the country. That's the British people.
Because that's the telescope right now that's been put on.
That's the British people who are saying we don't want to have to deal with these record numbers of people, many of whom are breaking our laws. And it's the British people who are watching this show who are being asked to pay £15 billion over the next 10 years, 5 million a day for hotels and accommodation. You talk about economics. How about we take that 15 billion by fixing the illegal migration crisis? And how about we have 10 new hospitals for the British people? Why don't we do that?
Well, why can't we also fix the processes in the first place? It's been so long where people are waiting for their immigration status. They are not actually being processed properly. We don't have the staff. We do not have all of that. But all everyone is talking about, like as if it's just the migrants' fault themselves.
And this is not fair. The state is now taking British taxpayers' money, giving it to private companies like Serco, who are outbidding the British people in their own housing market to give more favourable contracts to illegal migrants and asylum seekers. You talk about fairness. My question is, how is that fair?
They are not doing that for everyone. At the end of the day, you have to understand they are all not criminals. They are all not here living in hotels. They all don't have the benefits like you think. A lot of them are wanting to work. They're just not given the process to do that. They are also needing to
do you think they should be allowed to work?
Well, if they are going through a process and they are actually filling the sort of criteria that meant to be, because at the end of the day, every country has taken a certain amount. I do not think that it should be overly exaggerated with regards to everyone being criminal, everyone here being economic migrants, and they are just here to cause havoc.
For Fahima, Mohammed became visibly agitated, as though Labour even hinting at Reform UK's language signalled total collapse. And to be fair, she isn't entirely wrong about Labour's chaos. But dismissing unlawful immigration as if it were just background chatter? That's where things begin to feel off. Strange how she appears more rattled by the tone of the debate than by the reality that our borders are practically wide open. Before we move on, tell us, are you enjoying the video so far? If so, please take a second to like and share it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, let's dive back in. Yes, everyone's discussing it. And no, raising your voice the most doesn't make you the nation's spokesperson. Nation numbers have reached historic peaks. And where's the government in all this? Exactly where you'd imagine. Casting blame, issuing hollow pledges, and every so often Keir Starmer appears with a half-hearted send them back, as if that alone fixes the problem. We've been watching this stage play from the start, and honestly, people are exhausted, truly worn down. She's dismissing it as just immigration. Really? That's unbelievably disconnected. Waving away Labour's absence of a firm migration plan, as if it's irrelevant, while the nation is demanding genuine control. And regarding the economic claims she continues to push, let's sit down and have a truthful discussion about that, because it's nowhere near as straightforward as she presents it. I'm with you on this. We don't have any of that in place. She's twisting what he said. Matt spelled it out plainly. Immigration isn't just one concern. It's the concern. It's the driving force behind everything else, including the economic chaos we're facing. Just think about it. We've got hundreds of hotels packed with asylum seekers, draining taxpayers of millions every single day. It can't last. It's bleeding the treasury dry. This isn't a plan. It's a catastrophe. And how do they intend to plug the financial crater they've made? Easy. They reach into our pockets. Much appreciated, while working-class neighborhoods are left dealing with the brutal realities of grooming gangs and escalating crime, Verhijmer seems more invested in performative indignation, delivering compassion as though she's giving a TED Talk. It's disheartening that she doesn't show the same degree of concern for the real victims. Let's be honest. Her outrage doesn't appear rooted in the people harmed, but rather in safeguarding her party's reputation and defending her own community's priorities.
300,000 refugees over the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, we have to understand that they are doing what they feel that they can. They don't have the means all of the time to come through certain...
Everybody should just do what they want.
No, it's not. They should be tougher, sort of legal processes here, done quicker. Okay. And they also need to be much more tougher laws with regards to making sure that they are not all seen like how you say, which they're not. Otherwise, they will be charged and imprisoned when they land. They're not charged and imprisoned because they're not seen as criminals. They are seen as someone who needs refuge. So we need to be able to process that. I don't believe that the boat is the best way to come. Obviously, it's causing so much damage when it comes to people losing their lives. It's not obviously the legal route. But at the same time, if you are fleeing and you are needing help and you wanting it, just because we're sitting here and we don't have those, those kind of experiences, or we don't know of people that have, it's so easy to just criminalize them and make them all when they are actually also very vulnerable.
Now here's a moment. Fahima Muhammad passionately pointing at Matt Goodwin, calling for compassion and safe shelters. And on the surface, it sounds like a noble vision. Who wouldn't want to provide refuge to those escaping danger? But here's the problem, for many everyday people, the only space they seem to receive in return shows up in police files, court hearings, and endless queues for housing. Fahima promotes safe havens for refugees, and that's understandable, yet the tone shifts when the impact lands at home. When once quiet towns start appearing on crime maps, residents feel the change. It's easy to talk about lofty ideals when you're not the one living with the daily consequences, isn't it?
Starting point is always, what about the rights and the sense of fairness for people who are coming from outside of the country who are breaking our law? I'm sorry,
they're not all breaking the law. They're not all breaking the law.
You live in some fantasy land.
No, you live in a very different land.
The British culture is based on the notion of fair play, which is if people come into the country... Which is
humanitarian as well, refuge. And it's also Christian for you to also not be so hostile like you and talk like you and put everyone in that sort of boat like they are.
300,000 refugees in recent years, and you're sat there saying that we are not humanitarian. What planet are you living on?
You don't even need to sit through the entire clip. This single moment captures it all. We're being lectured about humanitarianism, British values, and morality by individuals who once gained enormously from this nation. And now, as the UK is ridiculed and branded a near third-world country simply for showing a measure of compassion, those same voices return not with gratitude, but with condemnation. They chastise us for doing far more than most countries would ever attempt. It's not just offensive. It's completely disconnected.
Don't break the law.
So easy for you to say when your family is not being, bombed and they're not actually
Being asked to pay
out
for the
of-
crisis. I'm a taxpayer.
So
I
am
work
I.
hard.
So am
Everyone
I.
watching this show.
So am I.
Right. So why should those people be asked to spend billions of pounds every year on a crisis that their leaders refuse to fix?
Well,
How
then
is
it's
that
not
right?
their fault. It is the politicians' fault to get it right and
Right.
to get those
So let's
processes
fix the
right.
crisis.
Yes, the crisis, but don't just blame the sort of migrants that are coming. It is to do with the politicians and people like yourself who are in these kind of, big sort of parties that are putting the blame on the wrong people and the wrong side. It should be fixing policies and making decisions that is also within rights of the humanitarian sort of an international law and looking after the British values. Not to say that, some of them are going to be criminal, but again, you put
Fahima,
everyone
I'm not going
under.
to take lectures on what are British values.
I'm not giving you a lecture. I'm just giving you my point of view, like how you're giving me.
Matt Goodwin didn't just stand firm. He dominated the discussion with clear, unwavering facts. While Fahima appealed to compassion, Matt demanded accountability. And by the end, the only sound louder than Fahima's frustration was the stunned silence that followed as Matt delivered the unvarnished truth. If you enjoyed this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us grow and inspires us to keep producing more content like this. It only takes a moment, but it means everything to us. Thanks for watching, and we'll